There, thank you for joining me for some bed yoga. While you guys gather any props you may need to grab, maybe a blanket or a block, and we're going to do a little shavasana at the end. If you like an eye pillow for that, that's always nice. I'm going to start right where we left off in the example that I gave the other day. I just have my pillows underneath my shoulder blades with my head laying back. If you're very weak, you may need to lift your head with your hands. I'm just opening the heart, breathing into the heart. I can extend my legs all the way out. If you will, when you get set up, if you'll put the video that you're watching down near your feet so that you can keep your head forward and not be turning and looking, that will probably be more helpful and also safer for you. So we're gonna stay here for just a breath or two. You can either keep this amount of support. I'm also going to show you a couple other options, and if you want to, you can try a rolled up blanket. The blanket right in between the shoulder blades. You need a firm blanket. A really slippery blanket won't work. You still are going to, in this case, you're a little higher. You're going to want a little pillow for the head, and this really helps open the heart. You're going to keep externally rotating the arms. You can also use a block. So if you have a block, you can either put this in this direction or this direction, again, in between the shoulder blades. That's going to be a stronger arch. So in that case, you probably want another pillow to keep the neck nice and safe. And it's going to be a little different without the support of the floor. You're just going to breathe in, opening the heart, allowing some energy to start to move there. You can always do a little tap as well. Breathing in to any joy, anything you may be looking forward to in this day. For some, that might be a very small thing we have to hold on to. A phone call, a favorite TV show is coming on, we're going to take a walk, we're going to the museum, whatever you may be thinking about that can bring you some joy regardless of what limitations you may have. So we're always trying to find a little something positive to focus on, not spend all our time grieving about what we can't do. I'm going to roll my hands underneath my buttocks, placing my palms down. And I'm just going to experiment with putting a little weight into my elbows and arching my back a little bit more. I need to keep my tailbone long, pointing toward my feet so that my low back is safe. Lifting up, I'm not putting any weight on my head. Just opening the heart with a big breath. And then very gently lowering yourself down. You may again need to help the hands. It's a little wobbly here. I'm going to move my props out of the way. Lengthen my neck. I can always work a little massage in anytime. Breathing again. Hug. So you're going to wrap your arms around yourself. You're going to reach your hands all the way past the shoulder blades, bringing the fingers toward each other. Big breath here. Really expanding in between the shoulder blades. And then opening the hands and bringing some energy into the self, changing so that the other arm is on top. Again, reaching far, far around, keeping the shoulders down in their sockets, breathing in and releasing. You can spend a little more time there. You can spend some time here stretching. I encourage you to stop this video at any time and take more time in any of the parts that you enjoy. Now, just for the sake of being able to see you all easily, I'm going to put this pillow under my head. I'm going to put my hands down by my bottom, and very gently I'm just going to bring my tailbone so that it's pointing up, and then release it. You can give a little arch in the back if you like. Pointing the tailbone up. Connecting the thighs, connecting the feet to the bed. noticing the core, noticing the belly's work. And just, you can begin to push into the legs a little more strongly if you like, and lift the hips up off the ground a bit, rolling vertebrae by vertebrae back down, arching the back just a bit, and then rolling up. Don't go too high without the support of a hard floor. It's a little easy to put too much pressure on the neck if you put yourself way up. But you can just really feel the feet, the legs engaging, the buttocks engaging, the belly engaging. You may like to roll the shoulders under a bit and do a very small version of bridge. And just knowing that getting any amount of movement is good. So continuing to do what feels good for you. You may be doing a very tiny movement, and that might be a challenge for you, and that is absolutely fine. Just find your edge that is not going to endanger you, and the important thing is we're squeezing these muscles, we're activating these muscles. This is moving the lymph through the body. If you can't get out of bed and you're lying in bed, there's no heart to pump. The heart pumps blood through the body. There's nothing to pump the lymph through the body other than your own movements and water, massage, things like that. So just getting these muscles engaged and involved is helpful. And now we're going to lift a leg and have it be nice and straight and come down and back in. Lift a leg, straighten it, down and back in. You can do a few of these, just finding a spot where you're going to get a nice stretch at the back of the legs, and you're pushing the core into the mattress as you slowly lower the leg down, giving yourself again a little core strengthener. You can repeat this as many times as you like, and again you can do a very small version if you need to. Now, one thing I have learned in being at times very, very weak, those of us who are very weak at times, we need to conserve our energy, even make every movement as efficient as we can. So roll in and roll to the side, and then use your hands to push yourself up. And if you have one of these wedge pillows, you may want to put that behind you at this point. But we're just going to do a modified boat. So being in the bed actually adds a nice challenge to boat because you get even more opportunity to balance. But we're going to, if you're very physically strong in the core, you might be able to just go right into boat, and you're welcome to go ahead and do that. Just always being sure to take a break and always keep the low back very safe. You do not want to injure your low back. So let's do a few versions of boat. You can stop the video at any point when you find one that you like and do as many repetitions as you like with that one. Or you can experiment and do all the versions. So I'm going to start with the easiest version. So for those of you who do not have a lot of strength, just lean up against your wedge pillow. Allow yourself to enjoy that support. Bend the knees in. You may need to use your arms, right? Bend the knees in, keep the head forward. And I'm just going to lift the leg and tap the toe a few times. And you can even put your fingers, dig your fingers in right in front of the hip bones and kind of dig in and feel that hip flexor working. Little gentle taps. And then you can maybe extend the leg and hold it up longer. However feels good to you. You can try extending one foot, one leg, and then the other. I'm really getting a little power in here. You can lower and raise the legs, however you like that. And you can also begin to sit forward and have the feet down on the mattress. So I have my feet planted, and I'm getting myself nice and tall so that my back is very straight. And then I can start to lean back and bring my legs with me. And I may just find a place that I can balance right here. And this is keeping my shoulders down. This is a nice little balancing act here. And if you rock yourself just a little, kind of move yourself around a little, you'll notice the core engaging. Trying to keep this nice straight back, I then can add a little more weight away from the body by lifting the legs up. I could still hold on to my legs. I may still want to do one at a time, however feels good for you. And you may be able to come into a full boat. Just be aware there's going to be a little more pressure on the low back. So you really, because of the soft surface. So just be very, very careful. There's no benefit to straining your low back, I assure you. So now we're going to go ahead and open the legs up, get the feet apart, and I'm just going to rock myself forward. I'm getting the hips open a little bit here. If you're very flexible, you can push down. You can bring the feet together and push down with the elbows and come forward. But whatever you do, we want to really be sure that this low back piece right here is coming forward and never rounding. This is where the discs can get pushed out from the vertebrae and where people injure themselves in yoga, is with the rounded, especially this lower back. You want to bring all that forward. If you're quite tight in the hips, that'll be difficult to do. So for some of you, this is a stretch just being right here, and that's fantastic. It's your stretch. Enjoy it. You can also have the feet together, but either way, we're going to inhale, reach out as far as we can, and then exhale, come down, little rest in between the legs. Inhaling, reaching, exhaling, rounding the back a bit, just getting a little stretch for the low back. And you can also add a twist here. I can put one hand down and reach with the other arm and get a nice twist. And then we're going to move into a supine twist. So this is a great twist when you really just can't get out of bed and you feel horrible about life in general, or if you just want to start the day in a nice way. So I'm going to lay down, and I'm going to just cross one leg over the other. And you'll notice that my knees are pretty close together as I cross them. So it's not over here or over here, but crossed closely like you sit at the table. And notice that I have a nice flat back, and I'm just going to drop. So if your right leg is on top, you're going to drop your knees to the left side. So whichever leg is on top, you're dropping it so that it stays on top, okay? And I can just lie right here and relax my hip a little bit, release the hip. I'm noticing a little pressure in my low back. I'm going to lift my hips up a little bit and just go a little further into that twist. I really want to be sure that my back is straight. I'm neither arching the back, nor am I concave in the back. It's just straight, and I may lift my shoulder blade a bit and turn the head. And here I can just let gravity deepen the twist. Opening the arms to the sky, opening the hands to the sky, and just releasing and relaxing. Opening the heart, and just giving all the organs and the glands a little squeeze with the abdominals and the back muscles as I exhale, just feeling that girdle of the abdominals, squeezing the organs and the glands, giving them a little massage. The inhalation really opening the collarbone, opening into that twist. And then bringing the head back, lifting the knees on an inhalation, uncrossing the legs, shifting everything back. And now I'm going to cross my other leg over the top, keeping that leg on top, dropping the knees down to the opposite side. I may want to shift my hips a little bit more, shift my shoulder a little bit more, but I just want to be sure that that back is not arched, not concave, straight, straight. Because the softness of the mattress is going to accentuate if I'm arched. So I want to be sure, maybe even pressing the mid-back a little bit into the mattress. Opening the heart, allowing the collarbone to release down toward the mattress. Noticing any stretching and opening in the hip, low back. And I like to really imagine all the nerve ganglia exiting, following through the vertebrae. So the vertebrae is twisting a little bit and giving a little massage to the nerve endings that are coming, the nerves that are coming through the vertebrae. So it's both stimulating and activating the spinal cord and the organs and the glands, getting a little squeeze. So we're squeezing some of the lymph a little bit, squeezing some of the blood out of the kidneys, the liver. Again, pushing the lymph through the body. If we lay about all the time, the lymph does not move and we actually will make ourselves worse. And then on one of these inhalations, you're just going to feel the desire. You'll be ready to lift the knees up, uncross the legs, shift your weight till you're comfortable. And we're going to do a brief Shavasana. So you may want to bring back one of those props if you have one. And you may want to do Shavasana coming back to that feeling of opening the heart. Or you may just enjoy laying flat on your back. Either way, I'm keeping my knees up. You can also extend your legs out. I just like to keep, because I'm on a very soft surface and I've arched my back with the heart opener, I'm going to compensate for that by keeping my knees up. If you do have an eye pillow, you can place that, allowing the weight to soften and quiet the eyes. If you have any weird torture devices that you like to use to massage, this could be a nice time to do your massaging, finding those trigger points and doing a little release from that. All the way down to the feet, a little massage. I even use mine on my face, just letting some of that tension. If you're in pain a lot, you compensate by holding a lot of tension in your body. And while we may or may not have any control over the pain, we can control those other muscles that we tense up in response to the pain. So we're just going to take this opportunity to release whatever tension we are able to release. So I'm just breathing into that tightness in my face, in my scalp, behind my ears. I'm doing a little massage as well, just helping to move that lymph that we released through the asana, pushing that back into the skin very, very gently, very lightly. I can massage a little bit in between the ribs. There's some lymph glands right around here. I just want to move that lymph. I can lightly brush along the arms in the direction of the hair. The hair grows in this direction. I'm just very, very lightly allowing that lymph to go back into the body, conserving that wonderful lymph to nourish our skin and keep us young and beautiful forever. What if I told you lying in Shavasana kept you young? Would that make you more motivated to stay here? It's true, stress ages us, makes us ill. So taking a little time, allowing anything that was moved through the body, through the lymph getting shifted through the body, through the muscles getting activated, just noticing anything that's moving, breathing into that, releasing into that, relaxing into that. Trusting your own breath. There may be some bigger breaths. There may be a settling into a very light breathing pattern, whatever feels good for you. And since this is a morning Shavasana, I'm going to begin to fix my ideation on where I'm going through the day. Maybe there's one small thing that I can do today that will be a little more active. Maybe I just need to rest and accept that I will be spending some time in bed. But maybe while I'm here, I can also imagine that there's some small things I can do, some small stretches. And if I'm pretty active and I'm ready to think about my day, I'm going to start to think about what's drawing me into this day. What beautiful, fun thing would I like to do? What small action can I take that will take a little burden off my plate? Maybe there's a small action step I'm willing to think about doing. Just breathing into what's ready to shift, what's ready to open, what's ready to release. Expanding the heart, expanding the release. And when you're ready and you can stop the video and rest at any point, deepening that rest. But just for the sake of time and assuming that some of you are ready to get started, I'm going to remove any props. I'm going to connect with my body. I may enjoy a little hug of the knees and a little rocking. I can do some small circles in both directions with the knees, just noticing how the back gets a little massage. I'm going to roll into the legs, just shifting and coming into a nice protected fetal position. Here's a very safe place. Releasing into that feeling of security and safety. And just remembering that because we don't have a hard, firm surface, it's really nice to really use my arms, really use my hands to push myself up from Shavasana and begin to step into my day. Just relaxing. And as you come at any pace, whenever you come to the place that you're sitting up again, just breathing in again to whatever you've activated, bringing awareness into your own boundaries, into the edges of your own physical existence, into the world. So we really want to ground into our bodies before we start walking around in the world. And just thinking about how I may bring some of this sweet, activated energy into fixing my breakfast, for example, or whatever action I'm going to be doing. I'm going to bring this awareness. I love myself. I nurture and nourish myself. I know that I have to nourish the root of myself. I have to water and nourish and care for the root of myself before I can take fruit, before I can create fruit and share myself and nurture others and create safe boundaries and take action in the world. I wish you a wonderful and beautiful day. Thank you for taking a little time for some bed yoga.